Everybody, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. I'm Clyde Whiting, and tonight we bring you the BSTV GT4 TCR League Round 3 from sunny Silverstone. And tonight in the booth with me, as usual, is Mr. Pete Bingham. Good evening.
Evening. Good evening, everybody.
And on the bells and whistles in the background is Mr. Sam Boozin, and I've already noticed he's made a mistake. So good evening, Sam.
Good evening, Clyde. Evening, Pete. Evening, all.
So ignore the graphic on the screen. This isn't the iRacing Supercar Series. This is the BSTV GT4 TCR series. So, Pete, we are at the new Silverstone. Now, Silverstone was a classic old school track that got F1'd. We've recently, I say recently, in the last 12 months, had the updated version on iRacing, and some say that Silverstone isn't really Silverstone anymore. What do you think?
Okay, the track looks great. What they've done in terms of graphics on here is sensational. It feels very different, even in the sections for that are the same as the old track, so Maggots and Beckett's and all that. It feels very different for some reason. It shouldn't, but it does to me. I'm not going to lie. Before I did some laps and I got lost. And it's so easy to pick up 1Xs around here. You just run a bit wide onto the start-finish straight, the new start-finish straight. You run a bit wide in turn, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can easily pick up 1Xs everywhere. It does feel different. I did like Silverstone, the original, an awful lot. It's good that it's still on the service, and you're right, it got F1'd. I'm not the greatest lover of this one. But it's Silverstone, isn't it? It's the epitome of Great British Grand Prix.
Yeah, I've had some very, very good races round here since the iRacing update where we got the new layout. I've not done so good, but that's purely an old age thing. Obviously, with the pit lane moving, for some reason I think I'm on a different part of the circuit to what I actually am. So, yeah, that's not very good. So, Sam, if we can quickly just run through the standings while we watch this qualifying session. We currently have in the GT4s, Mr. Andrew Hopley is leading the way with quite a convincing lead after winning the opening 2 rounds. Simon Field has been plodding away very, very well in second, and Stuart Dick has moved his way up to third. Then in the TCR, we obviously had Mr. Ferrari in week 1, convincing win. Didn't see him for week 2, and I've had a message from him that he's not here this week either, but he'll be back next week. So we have Kevin Veermont currently leading Chris Shaw, and there's only 15 points in it. And then nice to see Scott Malcolm in third. 4th and 5th place I will mention because that is the result clothing battle. Carl and David, who do work together. So David got the honours in week 1 and Carl got the honours in week 2. I'm sure there's been plenty of ribbing at work. I've also heard from my secret insider mole in the series that David has been practicing hard all week to try and get back at Carl. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one, Pete.
Yeah, who's winning out the 2 in points at the minute?
It's Carl at the moment.
It's Carl, is it? Well, he's got the faster time right now. And I know we're only in the practicey session, but it's good to see virtually all the names that you said there in the field tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And we're in qualifying, Pete, not practice.
Oh, we're in quali, are we? Mine says
we certainly are.
For some reason.
Yeah, we've got just over 5 minutes left of quali. So, yeah, we're going for it. We've currently got Craig Cameron has put in the fastest time in the GT4s. Championship leader Andrew Hopley in second and Stuart Dick in third. And then in the TCR class, we've got Chris Shaw currently holding pole, Carl Hardy up in second, and Kevin Veermont in third.
Yeah, and I can tell you that a 2:12.4 is a very handy time around here. I am not going, on pain of death, I'm not going to tell you what time I recorded in the practice session I did before this. But yeah, Andrew Hopley not very far behind, 1/10 behind. That's nothing.
Yeah, I would guess yours would be in the 2 days, 12 hours.
Maybe. And then Stuart Dick not far behind at all, 2/10 behind that. So there's not much in this at the minute for the GTs. Down in the, shouldn't say down in the TCRs, Chris Shaw's got a 2:15. 3 seconds behind the GTs is probably about the pace, to be fair. That's what you see generally around each of the tracks.
Yeah, and you know, even though we sort of give the track a little bit of a slating, you know, things like the Maggots Beckett's complex, it doesn't matter what car you're in, it's a fantastic piece of raceway.
It is, and the piece about that is that there's very few tracks where there's a sequence of turns where when you get it right, you just smile and you just think, I just did that right. I'll die happy now. And Maggots and Beckett's and that straight that leads to the tight right-hander that I always forget the name of, that for me is just a brilliant section of racing.
Yeah, it is. Quick rundown again. We've still got Craig Cameron pole, Andrew Hopley second, Stuart Dick third in GT4s. Slight change in the TCRs. Chris Shaw still on pole. Simon Chester has got himself up into second, which has relegated Carl Hardy to third.
I thought Simon Chester was a GT
Oh,
driver.
sorry, Simon Chester's a GT. It's because he's so far down.
Yeah, I think it's just
that's what it is. Yeah, apologies. Yeah, so it's still Carl in second and Kevin in third.
I'm not convinced that Simon's not an arrive and drive tonight.
There's nothing wrong with arrive and drive.
There's not. And Woodward's in the session as well, but he's not recorded a time yet. He's not holding a penalty. Are we holding any penalties at the minute, by the way?
Not from last week, no.
Really? I didn't see any protests come through, but I just thought I'd missed them. So
no, it was very clean last week, really. Considering I cocked it up and did a standing start as well. The start was really, really good. But yeah, hopefully we've got a rolling start tonight.
Yeah, we can only hope. And another driver, Josh Rayfield, hasn't put in a time yet. He has done laps, so I'm assuming he's either got off tracks or I don't know, maybe he just doesn't want to complete them.
Yeah, we've got Jamie Jeffrey up there, our teammate, in 7th in GT4.
Yeah, that's handy. I don't know whether he struggled last time out or not, but he's certainly ignoring all that now.
Yeah, I think he's actually put some practice in this week, so yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, Ant Woodward in the session so far has incidents, so I think it's just the fact that he's not done a lap that is recorded, and Josh Rayfield's the same at the moment. So they are circulating. They are trying to put laps in, but they're for the viewers. If you off track or you hit anything, or you hit another car, for instance, and not that I ever do that, you understand?
What is that?
I don't know, but it's quite.
It looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah. I have to stop talking just to look at that. It's like they've used the toe tag on the front of the car as some blood on the tooth coming down the front. That's clever stuff. Good effort, Matt Gibson.
That is very, very good, yes.
Yeah, so anybody watching, if you go off track too far, like all four wheels off the track, and you're deemed to get an advantage by iRacing, A, you'll get a slowdown, but B, you'll also get incident points. If you hit the furniture around the track, you'll get contact points. If you spin the car, you'll get loss of control points, X points. And if you hit other drivers, you'll also get incident points. Each of those invalidates your qualifying lap. And that's why you sometimes don't see times from people, even though they are circulating.
Yeah.
Like that, for instance.
Just like that, and the wheel falls off. So we've got a couple of new drivers tonight. We've got Abdul Al Amri, who we are going to take AAA.
Wasn't he here last time?
No, I think he signed up this week, as did James McRitchie, or McRitchie, as he's known. So, yeah, we're still gaining drivers. The grids are getting bigger.
Yeah. We should call him Hobnob. Rich T is just not a great biscuit, is it?
So we are coming to the end of qualifying. Drivers that are currently on a lap can finish it, but they won't be able to start another one that counts. Andrew Hopley has currently got himself on pole in GT4.
He has. He's very handy in this car, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is. Craig Cameron down to second, and good old Double R is up to third.
Yeah, and Double R had a pit lane start last time, so I don't think he could show his true potential. Let's see what he does this time in terms of racing in a very tight pack. That'll be when it launches. Ant Woodward's now got a time on the board, a 2:14.4. I think we're just waiting for Josh Rayfield to post a time.
Yeah, and in the TCRs, there's no change there. Chris Shaw looks like he's taken pole, Carl Hardy second, and Kevin Veermont in third. Still a couple of drivers just to finish their laps off.
Yep.
Oh, a bit wild there from Mr. Malcolm.
Yeah, and it's not difficult to get out of shape going around that turn. And this is where I was saying you pick up lots of easy 1Xs coming out of that turn if you're too greedy with the gas. Probably not in the TCR so much, but definitely in the GT. I'm going to go and check on family matters, if that's all right, just for a second before the start of the race, so I'll leave you to it.
So we just wait for the qualifying session to click over. Question on the chat from Field of Drive. Jamie was running wireless last week, but he has sent me a picture of a massive lead running all the way through the house. So hopefully he's now hardwired to his router and he's not going to have any of his blinking problems tonight. So, because it's quite a long lap round here, it's just taking a little bit of time for the qualifying session to click over. And as soon as that clicks over, we will bring you your full starting grid while the drivers do their warm-up lap, or formation lap as it's known. Keep an eye out for the tyre warmers in the pack. And anybody that's watching that wants to get involved, we do still have places left in the league, so feel free to come and join us. Okay, so your GT4 grid is Andrew Hopley on pole, Craig Cameron second, Double R is third, Stuart Dick in fourth, Andy Perks fifth, Triple A in sixth, Jamie Jeffrey in seventh, Tom Stanley eighth, James Underhill ninth, James McRitchie in 10th, Matt Gibson in 11th, and Rob Venn in 12th.
You want me to do the TCRs?
Yeah, let me just finish these ones off.
Oh,
We've got Simon Field in 13th. That's quite far down for Simon. And Woodward in 14th. Martin Bowerman in 15th. Simon Chester in 16th. And Josh Rayfield in 17th.
Okay, and in the TCRs, we've got Chris Shaw will lead the field away. Carl Hardy in second. Kevin Veermont in third. Scott Malcolm in fourth. Arjun Kramer in fifth. David Ayres in sixth. Frank T-Bosch in seventh, Charles Kellyman in eighth, and Roger Morton in ninth.
Okay, so 17 GT4s, 9 TCRs. There's the grid on your screen. Pace car in front of them, which means I've set the session up correctly.
It's the first time for everything, I suppose.
Well, there is, yes. Just for a change, I'm having a few technical issues. I'm back now.
Okay, so It'll be interesting to see how much room the TCRs give. They're given a good amount of space, to be fair, to avoid the calamities that sometimes occur in the officials. And I think he's gone.
We have gone.
I think
we are green.
He's nailed it. Or has he? He
or
got
has
pulled
he?
up, did he?
Yeah.
He got pulled up. So he's about to get mugged. Oh, because it was Carl, wasn't it? Carl went and
Craig, I think.
Was it? Oh, that's tight getting in there. That's 3 wide there. Ooh, bit of a bang for Jamie Jeffrey, maybe. Oh, there's a bit of shunting going on back here. Look, Simon Field.
It's always the same, isn't it? It's that concertina effect.
Yeah. Oh, he's wide as well.
Oh, there's a white one just gone there. I've just seen it turning left.
Oh yeah,
I don't know who that was. Was that Andy?
I think that's Andy Perks. Yep, it is.
Yeah, I don't know if he had any help, but I just see him spear off left.
It's easy to hit the wall there. I can personally vouch for that. There's a lot of people going wide there. You do pick up 1Xs at that point. Do we set a? We don't set an X limit. Oh no, we do. We set a punishment limit.
There is, yeah. There's a drive-through limit every 15, I think it is.
Right. Here we go. People having a little look, see if they can intimidate the car in front.
I do apologise. I don't know the rules to my own series. It's every 20 incident points. The driver will get a drive-through.
I won't worry about it. I didn't know any better either.
Professional as ever.
Who needs professionalism?
Exactly.
So let's have a look at Andy. It's going to be a slow spin.
Yeah.
Did he hit the wall? It's easy to do.
No, he got
effort.
it stopped. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them ones, isn't it, Pete? We've talked about them so many times where the car just goes around so slowly and there's nothing you can do on these cold tyres.
And it is a Porsche thing, in inverted commas. Cold tyres, you get greedy on the gas on the first lap and that's what happens. Later on in the race, you don't experience that as much. It'll be interesting to see around this track, particularly with big long straights, what the BMW does to the Porsche, if anything. Because there's also an equivalent amount of tight turns, just like this one, that the TCRs are going through now. They'll be very handy through here and they'll feel good through these tight turns. But the BMW versus the Porsche is going to be an interesting comparison.
Yeah, biggest mover in the field at the moment is Josh Rayfield in the GT4 class. He's up 5 places from his 17th position start.
Yeah, I think that was just because he couldn't post a time and qualifying. Robert Venn here, who was in the thick of the action last time out, doing all right. Oh, who's that? Oh, that's Ant.
Whoa, what did he do there? Oh, that's a very, very strange accident.
Isn't it? That's almost like a connectivity issue or something.
Yeah, or maybe the car got unsettled, changing direction. I don't know. That's a hard one to call, that. I'd like to see that again at some point, maybe from behind the car.
Yeah.
So a good battle here.
Yeah.
Ian Kramer and David Ayres.
Yeah, side-by-side action.
So the top 3 places in each class haven't changed from the start.
No, that's a good point, actually. They may have moved up compared to some of the GTs that have gone behind them, but they haven't changed their order, which probably says that qualifying's done exactly what it's supposed to do, in theory. And filtered out the fast guys in this particular track.
But, you know, as we always say...
Oh, that's a good step out. That could have been good if he'd followed that through. Sorry.
These are 60-minute races. There is a forced pit stop. So, you know, things change.
Oh, without a doubt. And like with our... are we watching a replay here?
It's Jamie Jeffries found the light button.
Or has he
just
found
got
something
mugged
more?
down the inside there.
He has,
but
but
get
he's
it back
fought his
here.
way back a bit. Was there a touch? I can't tell.
No, I don't think so. No, and
No.
I think that's is that McRich T that he's fighting with.
It was. And Jamie's like given a prime example there of the manoeuvrability of the Porsche compared to the BMW. I don't doubt for a minute that, well, maybe not that one, but that the BMWs will haul him in on the straight that follows this section. And we've switched to Simon, who's making his way through the field.
Yeah, he certainly is. Yeah, I think he would have been disappointed with his qualifying. Jamie's got a bit of damage on the back of his car there.
Yep, and he's squashed these 3 cars right up.
Yeah, Porsche looks tiny, doesn't it, compared with the BMW?
It does, yeah. This is the straight I was meaning. I think Jamie's had a bad run onto this particular straight out of the last 2 corners. And he's on the right side for this next turn, though.
Yeah, if you can hang in there, which he's done well there.
He has, and that Porsche turns very well compared to the Beamer. Ooh, wobbly from the car, like following these guys. Sorry, I do get terribly emotional. And this is the version of this track where you can cut an enormous amount out of that last corner there.
Yeah.
On the other version with the cones, it has you every time.
That's Josh Rayfield still making his way through.
And he's
just
again.
Past Matt Gibson.
Yeah, Jamie Jeffrey giving a flash.
Yeah, we didn't quite see that overtake, did we?
No, to Rich T, and he's ooh, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I'd like to see the overtake again.
Yeah, from McRich T.
Yeah.
Here we go. Down the inside.
Nothing wrong there.
Not yet. Oh no, this isn't it.
No, that was the original one.
Before it, we need to stay with this for a while to find out what happened. He goes on to the start-finish straight here.
Yeah, Simon got wild behind.
And then...
now the BMW power comes in.
Yeah, oh, and he's...
yeah. That wasn't very good.
No, and I can understand the light
flashing
flashing
Jamie
now.
was flashing his lights, and you would have expected James to give that position back.
Yep, which he, well, kind of didn't. Oh, and then there's an equivalent nudge, and then I don't know what that was.
No, that was weird.
Code?
Yeah, don't know. Anyway, back to the race.
Yes, here we go with a little trio of BMWs. I kind of like the brown colour on that one that's following. Behind Tom Stanley, who's that? That's AAA.
That's AAA, yeah. Obviously in the same team as Tom, different paint, same sponsor.
Oh yeah. I prefer the brown colour.
Actually, all 3 of them are. Even the green one. We're good at this.
We're rubbish, aren't we? Anyway, that was a wide line from that BMW, and the TCRs both overtook him, which was Simon Chester.
So if anybody knows of a good broadcaster, let us know.
We're in the market for one. There you go. You see, you can take a massive amount of that curve there.
Yeah.
On this version of the same track. It's just weird, honestly.
So Chris Shaw has not been able to get away from Carl Hardy.
No, and you've got to wonder whether he's just biding his time. He's got a gap behind him, obviously, because there's a GT sat in the gap.
But there's quite a few GTs behind these, aren't there?
There are, yeah. There was a bit of to do at the beginning, wasn't there? I don't know why Robert Venn is so far back, and we must have missed an episode with Robert Venn. Ant Woodward went very wide. Andy Perks spun his car. Martin Bowerman, I'm not sure. He's usually higher than that.
There's Matt Gibson and Josh Rayfield.
Yeah, is that Josh Rayfield's car with the wicked paint job, or
no, Josh
Matt Gibson.
Number 6. That's Matt Gibson, right. The other one.
Yeah, I do like that paint job. It's quite funny. Here we go. Another replay. Yeah.
Martin Bowerman.
So he's down the field at the moment.
Is that Andy Perks?
It is. Yeah, Andy Perks has just done a move on him and taken that position.
Andy, who spun his car on lap 1.
He did. So he's got. They've all got. Oh, there's a bit of damage on that car as well. Chris Shaw's front left fender. If we look when he comes around this corner, that's looking a bit second-hand. It's clearly not affected him that much because he's still in the race, but
Yeah, there's definitely a crinkle in the bonnet there, isn't there? So he's hit
T-cut.
something.
Bit of T-cut, no, not a problem. So, but at the front of the GTs, Andrew Hopley is stretching his legs.
Yeah, so this is James Underhill and Simon Field. What's happened to AAA?
Yeah, he's come off the back of the...
He was up in 4th.
Yeah, he's dropped off the back of the asymmetric gang.
Yeah, he's now behind his teammates.
He was before?
Yeah, he was in 4th before that, though.
Ah, right.
So, I don't know. Perhaps he just let his teammates go. Perhaps they're a little bit faster than him at the moment.
Yeah, might be under team orders.
Multi 21.
Yeah. We've never seen that from a certain other team in the V8s, have we?
No.
Controversy. I just wonder that old man O'Connor's not in this.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, a nice sedate car for him.
Yeah. Country drive and all that. This is very tasty here. That's going to be a good overtake from Matt Gibson. As long as he can keep it stuck. And it's not easy there because you get the car on the outside gets a massive amount of drive, but he's put his car in a good position for this, what is a left-hander.
Yeah, he can defend easily there.
Yep, that was good driving from Matt Gibson.
Be interesting to see if the front tyres melt on the BMWs this week. There's AAA, Tom Stanley, and Stuart Dick a little bit further up the road.
But these two here are getting caught massively by the two behind them. James Underhill and Simon Field are really closing these guys down.
And they're not fighting either. They're just following each other.
Yeah, which is, you know, when you're trying to make your way back through a field, it's the sensible option, isn't it?
Yeah, especially as teammates as well.
Yeah.
If they're running the same pace, you know, they might as well just stick with it because the more they go side by side, the slower they're going to go.
Yep,
But
absolutely.
it doesn't seem to have mattered. So James Underhill and Simon Field are right on them now.
Yep. I don't think they're going to be too bothered about making their way through quite aggressively. In fact, we might see an overtake coming up because he got a good run here, although he's backed out of it because that straight's not as long as you think, is it?
No, it's not. It's deceiving. I don't know if that was a bit of a block by AAA there.
I don't think it was a block. I think it was just a... Yeah, just to let you know, you're not having this very easily. It's good through here, isn't it? This is what I was meaning. It's such a good sequence of turns.
Yeah, AAA is definitely holding up James Underhill, which
he's the
means Simon Field is now putting a lot of pressure on James.
We're going to be potentially 3 wide into this right-hander coming up at the end of the straight.
There's dodging, there's weaving.
And we're not, because everybody's still in the same order, amazingly. And I think it's a matter of time before there's a move done on AAA. He's putting his car in some good positions, though, isn't he?
Yeah, and, you know, in Simon Field's position, what do you do? Do you take the advantage of the fact that James Underhill is being slowed down by AAA and put a move on him, or do you let James do the work and then attempt just to follow him straight through?
So my tactic would be to crash at the next corner. If I was to use somebody else's tactic...
You wouldn't have got this far.
I would follow him and then try and take advantage of any move he did on AAA. Have we got a readjustment at the front of the field? Has Andrew Hopley done something? Because he's... No, he hasn't.
No, he's back.
My timing screen.
He's back.
Yeah. So here we are with Double R.
Yeah, top 3 positions still.
Yep.
The same in both classes.
There's a bit of time in between, though, isn't there now?
Yeah, and Stuart Dick is obviously moved up onto Double R and he is now going to try and make our first top 3 pass of the
And he's
evening.
going to do this as well because he's got an enormous...
He's got a hell of a run there, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the gang behind him again.
Yeah,
Oh, and that's a good overtake.
that was very clean.
That's excellent stuff. That's wide from Tom Stanley.
Yeah,
I don't know whether he's going to get told off by iRacing for that.
This is the same battle, same order.
It's a good fight though. Oh, where are you off?
Yeah,
Who's
so
that? I
that
forgot
was
his name.
Simon Field. That was just trying out a different line through the corner.
On a different track.
In a different country. So there you go, folks. Simon Field wins at Mosport.
I think Stuart Dick's going to stretch his legs here, isn't he? Because he's a handy driver in this car.
He's certainly not slow. But neither is Double R.
No.
You know, he might just stick with him and see what happens.
If you look at your timing screen right now, what does it tell you about the car split on Silverstone?
The what?
The car split. So the first 11 places are BMW. All the Porsches are behind the TCR. Oh! Well, that's ended in tears.
Didn't quite see the start of that, if I'm honest.
Neither did I.
You had me looking at the timing screen.
I did, yeah. It's my fault, as usual.
There's a big gap between them there.
That's closing in.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. And go on, Simon. Wait for him. Good lad. Good lad.
Yeah.
That's what we like to see. We don't like to see the crash, but
brilliant sports.
Try and put things right afterwards.
Yeah, he got it wrong.
Yes, I can see what you're saying, Pete. Yeah, we didn't have that many Porsches to start with, but it's certainly a BMW power track.
It is, and I think that's significant. It shows the speed of Silverstone for a start. I did wonder whether the tight. Oh, that's not the right line. I don't know. Who is that? That was a pure comedy moment in my little world, my tiny little mind. Who are we on board with? Carl Hardy.
So this is Carl Hardy and Chris Shaw, the battle that's not going to go away, is it?
No,
they are so evenly matched.
And Carl's nemesis is David Ayres, isn't it?
Josh Rayfield, where are you? You've lost places as well.
He's gained overall, but he's dropped a few recently.
Yeah.
It's David Ayres is the competitor to Carl Hardy in the.
Certainly is. Yes, They are work buddies.
So there's quite a bit of time between the two at the minute. So he needs to get his race out on. Oh, what's going on here?
Oh, I thought that was going to end in tears. So yeah, this is the Underhill Field McRitchie battle now. Oh, what's happened to Simon? He's pitted early.
Yeah,
Simon's come in after 18 minutes.
So I think this is because of the damage that he incurred driving his car into the back of somebody else.
And do you think that is possibly the earliest?
Oh no, I don't know how long you
too early.
It possibly is. So what I have found with these GT4 cars is, if you get any damage, just pit your car, because it's going to absolutely annihilate you. Even the small amount of damage, you lose time, you lose control, you end up in another crash because of trying to fight the damage on your car that you've already got. I don't think it's a bad shout that he's pitted, even if he has to pit again, because at least he'll get to the finish.
Yeah.
And Jamie Jeffrey, is he also in the pits, or is my timing screen gone bonkers?
No, I've got Jamie in the pits.
In that case, then, maybe this is the earliest you can
pit. Yeah, it will be interesting to watch them two at the end, just see if they cough and splutter.
Yep. I was in a GT4 race last week where I ended up picking up 3 spots at the end of the race because people ran out of fuel. That's funny.
So here we go again.
Yeah, this is going to carry on, like you said. This isn't going away.
But it doesn't look like Carl's in a hurry to get a move done. So
No, if you did an on board with him, I wonder how much he's lifting.
yeah, maybe he's saving a bit, and he's going to try and get the overtake done in the stop.
Told you Sam wasn't asleep.
Yeah. I think Sam disappears and his wife carries on doing the cameras, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
So let's listen. Possibly.
Still seems racy.
Yeah.
He's got a better line through there than the car in front. Than Carl Shaw. Or Chris Shaw. Just making up names now. I'm combining names. Unusual gear choice, but I don't drive this car, so we'll go with it.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
Yeah. And here we go again. So this is the asymmetric race for the what position are we after here? 5th.
This is 5th and 6th.
Yeah. Double R's obviously lost the position in front. Oh, there we go. Martin Bowerman taking positions back. Is that Ant Woodward he's putting a move on?
Ant Woodward, I think Rob Venn possibly in the Porsche.
Oh. Or is that Ant Woodward making his way through? Oh, Rob Venn on the inside there.
Good move.
It was a good move. And I think that's Martin Bowerman losing 2 positions in about 3 corners. I don't know whether he's got handling issues or something, because that TCR behind him looks like it's a bit racy as well, which is, by the way, Arjun Kramer.
So are these two going to battle?
No, that's
that
a
was a multi-21
right there. If anybody ever doubted what that looks like, there you go. That's an order for position, or just letting him go.
So can AAA pull away?
I think if he could, he would have done so already. He'd have done the overtake and disappeared down the road, because he's now chasing down Double R.
Yeah. Tom Stanley's no sloth in this car either.
No, he's been really good in previous races.
I've raced Tom in a few different series, so again, he's another one, a bit like Simon Field and our very own Nicole Foggy, that just seems to be able to jump in any car and do well.
Yep.
Not that I said that with any bitterness in my voice or anything like that. I would just like to jump in one car and do well. That would be nice.
Yeah. So Andrew Hopley leading the GT4 field by 2 seconds over Craig Cameron, who's not too far behind. There he is in the camera shot. Stuart Dick follows another 6 seconds down the road, who's got Double R in close proximity, but has passed him and is pulling away. And then AAA and Tom Stanley, almost on the same bit of tarmac, are chasing Double R down.
Yeah, we'll see if Stuart can do anything to that gap to Craig.
They're doing very, very similar lap times at the
minute.
They
are, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. This is James McRitchie.
In another asymmetric car.
I know, yeah. Are we in
4 of them?
Yeah.
But I'll have to get in my usual dig at result clothing. At least these guys have changed their paint colours. I got lots of abuse last week for that.
We did, yeah. And we did. We will not be changing our paint. Brilliant. We've got different wing mirrors or something like that. So here we go. James McRitchie lining up James Underhill, who is handy in this car. Despite his 7th position at the minute. I've seen him higher than that, I'm sure. But that was a good line out of there by James.
Yeah, I think the
Back
front of
Brixton.
James's car might be a little bit stoved in from the
So-
accident with Jamie Jeffrey.
So I will point out that they're both called
Whoa!
James, so nobody knows who you're talking about. So that was a good switchback.
Just carried far too much speed in there, getting that overtake done.
Yep. Or the other James decided, do you know what? You're going to go in deep, so I'll just leave off the gas and cut back across you.
So nobody blinking at the front yet with
No.
regards to pit stops. 25 minutes in.
Oh, he got his nose in there. Did you see that?
Yeah, I'm just hoping this doesn't end in tears.
Yeah, I don't think it will, because you're going to get a bit of a switch back here, or he's going to dive to the inside like that, but he's going to lose all the momentum. And a big wheel spin as well, but he can block this.
He did,
And that's
yeah.
the point, yeah. So, oh, he's very wide there. And he's on a defensive line here. I wouldn't follow someone onto that defensive line. I'd stay on the racing line here and then do a cutback in this corner. Or try and get on the right-hand side of them, because the next one's a right-hander. I should just stop talking, shouldn't I?
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think the Pete Bingham overtaking school has quite got the legs yet.
Oh dear.
Oh,
It's a good racing manoeuvre. It took a 1x, but it's worth it.
yeah. So James Underhill wins at Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So this is Scott Malcolm, or was Scott Malcolm.
This is Andy Perks making his way back through the TCR field.
Yeah, we got a lot of good battles between the different classes tonight as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of cars way out of their normal position.
Yeah, definitely.
Andy Perks is usually right up there. This is AAA, still leading Tom Stanley. And they're still in pursuit of Double R.
Yeah, I wonder if they just switched to see whether they were doing quicker lap times with the other car in front.
Yeah. You might see another change of position here if that didn't work out for them. Although they are bringing in Double R, but it's by very small increments.
Yeah, these two last lap were in the sort of mid 215s. Double R was in the late 215s. So yeah, maybe half a second a lap.
Am I right in thinking that we're approaching half
We
distance?
certainly are. We are just 27 and a half minutes in.
So for the people that really don't want to calculate fuel, this is the time to be pitting.
Yeah.
And then for others that have got a race strategy that works beyond half distance, we might see something different a bit later on.
Yeah, anybody that can divide by more than 2.
That rules me out. Right, here we go. Scott Malcolm,
Yeah,
is he putting a move on a GT?
Well, this was the one that we flicked to a little while ago. This is Scott Malcolm and Josh Rayfield.
Right.
Now, Scott Malcolm, I'm presuming he's driving this car quite a lot because he's up there in the championship and he's also up there in this race, currently sitting in 4th position.
And he's not got a shabby I rating either.
He seems to close up, doesn't he, through the twists and the turns where the TCR can carry more speed.
Yes, very much so.
And then the BMW leaves him again on the straight.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We can't see incident points on here, can we? Or can we?
I don't know.
No, neither do I. Because I've seen quite a lot of cars running wide. And it'd be interesting to see where we're at in that count, being at halfway point. Because we'll then see who needs to be careful for the rest of the race.
I can see incident points, but I think they're from qualifying.
Yeah, I would think so. Although, well, yeah, it'll be a cumulative quantity, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the same detail actually in the entries field. Here we are on board with your race GT race leader, Andrew Hopley. It's a very tidy line through there. You want to be on the gas as much as you can, charging through there. I think Chris Shaw is in the pits. I think. I don't know. And that's the BMW washout a little bit.
Is.
He
so
is
is
actually there,
Rob
right?
Venn, and so is Ant Woodward.
Ah, right, okay, so they really have calculated halfway. Well done, boys.
Chris Shaw has now left the pits.
Yeah.
He's come out in 6th position.
Oh, yeah.
And what does Carl Hardy do now? Does he just keep pushing until his fuel runs out, or?
Well, it depends really how much he was lifting, and only he knows that.
Yeah,
So-
we've not seen much of an undercut effect in this car so far, have we? Or in the series?
Nothing like in the V8. That's
No.
dramatic in the V8, but this not so much. You'd think the BMW would handle a bit V8 like, wouldn't you? Because front engine, rear wheel drive. You've got to
Weighs
think.
17.5 tons.
Yeah, so maybe not. It's the same as a battleship.
Yeah. BMW Bismarck.
It's a lovely line he's taken through a lot of these corners, to be honest. I wish I could do this. See, this is where I get confused, because you got two start finish straights. Which one am I on? I don't know what the next turn is, because they all look the same.
Don't forget, Andrew's already told us that he's been predominantly driving the UK circuits.
Yes,
Even though he had a win at Watkins Glen,
and
which is obviously moved.
To the UK. Here we go with Andy Perks about to put a move on. Is that Carl Hardy? Yes, it is Carl Hardy. Carl has, he's not got round yet to take another pit stop, or to take a pit stop.
I think he's gone round once.
Was that the start finish straight with the pit straight on? It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
We've lost Martin Bowerman through a connection issue.
Oh, I thought he was just in the pits. All right, okay. Oh, Jamie Jeffrey
and Simon Field.
So that must be Simon Field overtaking Jamie Jeffrey, because I'm pretty sure Jamie was in front.
BMW looked loose on entry there.
And yeah, that is how the BMW does drive.
Jamie's driving defensive.
He is, and the Porsche is a good car to do that in, because it's good round corners. Oh, that's very wide from Simon. Oh, and again. Oh dear.
Ooh.
He's going to have to find an opportunity to get back on track.
There's a track there somewhere.
Yeah.
Simon Field wins at Daytona.
We're going to run out of tracks.
We are, aren't we? Yeah. We'll have to make some up.
Yeah.
Like you do with the driver names.
Yeah. Start using the dirt tracks.
So there's the third result closing entry.
I didn't know there was 3. They all look the same.
Yeah. If only they could change their colours a bit.
If only.
So Carl Hardy is still out on track.
And he's still currently leading.
No, is that that is the pit entrance, isn't it?
I think that was. It's just gone past, yeah. Or is it the old one? Oh, I don't know.
That's the new one.
Where are we?
This is the new one.
That is the
Thanks,
new one, yeah.
This is the start-finish line for this layout.
Right. Thanks for that. Where do we live, Clyde?
Yeah. Mars.
Where does Sam live? Jupiter. Excellent.
So, yeah, it does look like Carl is just going to run it dry and see what happens.
It seems to be that way, yeah.
A lot of the TCR field are pitting.
They are, yeah.
Malcolm's been in, David Ayres has been in.
Is that Josh Rayfield in
Josh
the GT as well?
Rayfield has just been in and out. Simon Field's having a hell of a time at the moment. He's having a few off tracks.
Oh, what are you? Oh,
sausage curb.
oh,
He's still sliding.
yep.
There he is.
There he is. And the kissy litter.
Got away without any damage.
He did. I do think he might be an arrive and drive, which is okay. If you want to be part of the league, then sometimes that happens, doesn't it? Because real life can be quite
most
demanding.
definitely.
Yeah,
Most definitely. So yeah, Chris Shaw's now he's up to third with obviously the other pit stops happening. Two in front of him, Ian Kramer and Carl Hardy are yet to pit.
Trying to find him at the minute.
Tom Stanley's in the pits in the GT4, but has left his teammate AAA out on track.
It says here, well, it says on my screen anyway, that he's Chris Shaw is 29 seconds, 28 seconds, call it, behind Carl Hardy. I wonder how long the pit stop is. I wonder if there is an undercut benefit.
We'll find out.
We will.
They were close on track, weren't they, before the pit stop? So
yep, definitely. Craig Cameron keeping the car clean.
Tom Stanley's out of the pits. Frank Tobosh has entered the pits.
I think he's one of the last of the TCRs to pit the car.
Well, yeah. We've still got Carl Hardy, obviously.
Well, yes. I think there's going to be quite a gap, actually, when Chris...
Ian Kramer as well hasn't pitted.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, because he's ahead of Chris Shaw at the moment. Not by much, though, by the look of things. I'm just going to check on all things family, and I'll be back shortly.
So, GT4 leader Andrew Hopley. He's got quite a healthy lead at the moment, just over 3 seconds over Craig Cameron. And Stuart Dick in third. Bit of talk on the chat as to Carl's pit tactics. Let's hope he doesn't underfuel it. So AAA is in the pits. Jamie Jeffrey having a go at, I think that's Josh Rayfield. So Jamie Jeffrey up to 11th in class at the moment. Ooh, took a big lump of curb there. We'll see what that BMW power can do now. Will Jamie need to go defensive? It's a bit of a short shoot, that one. Just got one eye on the timing screen, just watching for Carl Hardy for when he comes into the pits. Charles Kellyman has entered the pits. And Jamie Jeffrey done well there. He got past Josh and pulled away. So he's definitely got himself there at 11th place. I've got Craig Cameron pitting from second in the GT4s.
So we're still waiting on Andrew Hopley.
Yeah, so both class leaders at the moment are wringing the neck of fuel.
Yeah, and Stuart Dick, I'm not expecting, hasn't either, seeing as he's just promoted himself into second, on the timing screen at least. These two asymmetric cars of AAA and Tom Stanley making their way past the TCR leader Carl Hardy.
So that to me tells me that there is no undercut, because these two were running like this before the pit stops. And Tom Stanley pitted at least 2 or 3 laps before AAA did.
Right,
and they've come out in exactly the same position.
Yeah,
so
that means it's just nullified.
I don't think there's any undercut in the GT4 class, but
no. That's Triple R coming out of the pits.
Just coming out of the pits there, wasn't he? Yeah, so he's not that far behind.
No, and why is he so far down?
Is he behind?
He's behind Tom Stanley.
He is, isn't he?
Well, he's behind Carl Hardy, literally, but in his own class, he's behind Tom Stanley. That's
he's
not
lost
normal.
2 positions there.
Yeah. So does that mean the undercut Israel?
Oh, that could have been a pit lane entry, speeding.
It could have been a penalty, is what you're saying. Yeah.
It could be that he took tyres and the other 2 didn't. Like I say, just on the AAA and Tom Stanley, to me, that means there is no undercut.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Just the fact that they've come out exactly the same as they were, but they pitted on totally different laps.
Who is it that pitted as soon as you could?
Simon Field didn't he?
Simon Field, and he's ahead of quite a few GT cars, really.
So still nothing from our top boys for a pit stop.
In the GT4s, no.
No, 43 minutes into this race.
Well, this is going to end up with a splash and dash and no tyres then, isn't it, I think?
It certainly looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, because the car behind Stewart is Jamie McRitchie, and he's 21 seconds behind. I don't know how long a pit stop is, but the pit lane's quite long here.
Yeah, I don't think James McRitchie has pitted.
Oh, well, that'll explain that then.
Because
Craig Cameron's the next car.
Craig Cameron was up there, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he's only 1 second behind James McRitchie.
And I don't think Stuart Dick has pitted, because he was 3rd behind Craig Cameron.
No, he definitely hasn't.
So the top 3 in GTs haven't pitted.
This might be quite tasty when we get to the end here, after these pit stops have happened.
So Matt Gibson has been in and out of the pits.
Defensive line there from James McRitchie, with Craig Cameron on possibly better tyres, because he's pitted already. Giving him some grief here. Lots and lots of traction out of that corner. Lots of grip going around here. And he could do a bit of a switchy back thing going into the next corner. Oh, that's defensive. And that's getting very wide there from Craig Cameron.
Still no sign of a pit entry from the leaders. Oh, saying that, Andrew Hopley comes in.
Right, this is going to finish the etch-a-sketch of pit stops for this race.
Yeah, so let's see where he comes out compared with Craig Cameron.
Does that mean Stuart Dix followed him? I expect he will.
Stuart Dick has, yes. So that could have been the very last lap that they could have pitted on.
Yep. Which means James, in theory, here should be pitting this time round as well.
Yeah.
And he's gone. So, yep, that's that other calculation. Either halfway or when you run out of fuel.
Right, so where are these? They're coming out of the pits now.
And they're going to be ahead because you're straight onto the track here.
Yeah, there he is.
Craig Cameron, where's Stuart Dick's car? Is he still boxed, is he?
Yeah, he's now coming out.
Ah, right. So we must be very close for the top 2 positions now, surely. Or is it? No, there's like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So we're back exactly as we were, really.
Yeah, that pretty much shook out how it was. I think, if anything, Stuart Dick might have gained some time.
Mm-hmm.
So Carl Hardy is in the pits. So we've got the same thing now with the TCRs.
Yeah. All starts again.
Where is Chris Shaw? I think Chris Shaw's already gone past Carl, if I'm honest. Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah. And there's a Carl.
And there is Carl.
Track now, yeah.
But the gap's a bit bigger than it was.
Yes, it is. 6.5 seconds. Because they were line astern at one point.
They were, yes.
So maybe you do get an undercut in the TCR.
Maybe there's an undercut in the TCR, yeah. Yep. Maybe.
Robert Venn has made his way back through a number of positions since he ended up almost at the back of the field.
So, big loser there has been Double R.
I don't know what happened to him. He's dropped positions for some reason, but I didn't see it on track.
He was in front of these two. It happened in the pit stop phase, so...
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see what sort of speed he's got to see if he can get past them. We've had, I can't remember who it was, Simon Field and was it Josh Rayfield were both having a go at these two cars, couldn't get past them?
It was, yeah. It was Simon Field and somebody else, I think. Was it James McRitchie?
Yeah, it could have been, yeah.
Yeah, who's dropped quite far back down the field now. Oddly.
Yeah, Jamie Jeffrey. So Andy Perks has got his Porsche up to 7th place. Mm-hmm. Jamie Jeffrey has got his Porsche up to 9th. So Double R's putting some pressure on Tom Stanley here.
Yeah, and if he's patient with the gas pedal, he'll be all right. He'll get this done at some point very soon, I think. Oh, very defensive there from Tom Stanley. That was a message to say, if you want it, you're going to have to fight for it.
Yeah. Well, that's giving AAA a chance to run away.
It will do, yeah. And that might be a team tactic, not sure. But the position that Double R is in right now, he's in a very advantageous position if he can get his line right into this next corner, which it looks pretty good from there. He should pull up onto the back of the car in front. Tom Stanley's car.
He's got a hell of a run there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything he can do with it.
No, because unless you're just positioning your car in optimal position through these next few turns,
Yeah.
this one being critical.
Yeah, this is your next opportunity. There's nothing you can
Yeah.
do through Maggots and Beckett's.
No, drive out of here is critical, and he looks in a good place here. Tom Stanley will stay as far to that right-hand white line as he can physically get. Double R's going to have to go wide, but if he comes off the gas early, which he's not done,
late breaking,
he's going around the outside.
breaking.
He's not going to do that. Oh,
He
no, he
is. He isn't. He is.
That's good.
He's got the inside.
He's got it. He's got it. That's done. That's a done deal. Because this is just a critical corner, isn't it?
Yeah, great move.
Shut the door. Brilliant work. Well done, Double R. Tom's getting a bit racy to try and get that back, but I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, this straight isn't really long enough to do anything.
No, you don't get draft enough. You don't get a long enough time in the draft, I should say, to reap any benefit from it. Next turn here is a right-hander, so you've really got to be carrying an enormous amount of speed.
You can defend all these, can't you? It goes back to where Double R made the move.
Yes.
It's following as close as you can through Maggots and Beckett's, then getting the drive out of that right-hander, and using the draft and trying to get it done at the end.
Yeah, Tom Stanley's going to get a hell of a draft down here, and he got a good run out of the last corner, so he'll show his nose. I don't know whether he can actually... Oh.
Double R didn't even seem to defend that, to be honest.
No, he's obviously got some other plan, you would think. He obviously knows the track, because he knew to get out of that. And stay clean and stay tidy, so this is a good exchange between these two.
Yeah.
Very exciting racing. What have I got? Oh, my timing screen's gone bonkers again.
Yeah, this is Simon Chester, Rob Venn in the Porsche, and McWitchy.
Yep.
Oh, here again, Double R.
Here we are again. This isn't gonna go away either, is it?
No. So I don't know where he got that done.
I don't know either. Opportunistic move, maybe?
Yeah, mistake from Stanley, possibly.
Because
he's got a hell of a run out of there.
He has, yeah. Robert's, sorry.
He's coming back to him now.
Yeah, Double R should have stayed right there, I think, but he's obviously got another game plan.
Yeah, well, he did well. Yeah.
He needs to get on the other side of that yellow car now, the other side of Tom Stanley's car, and he's not on the right side for this corner, unless he hangs it around the outside, which...
Not a lot of grip out there, but it does give you the inside here.
Oh, dear.
I think Tom's just got the drag coming out, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. He's got that done.
It's a good battle.
It is.
Good battle with 8 minutes to go.
It's good, and it's... Oh, this is the overtake then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cheers,
He's done
Sam.
well to get it done there.
He has.
That was all about drive out of the corner, that one.
Yep.
So, yeah, that one could go through to the end.
This is Kevin Viamont following Scott Malcolm. Scott's done well to get to where he is. He's pulled 6 positions, including a number of GT4s who've had incidents to get to this position.
What's happened to Andrew Hockley?
I think it's probably a timing screen thing, is it?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't know. Where is he?
He's back to the top.
Yes.
Woo! That didn't feel right.
I hate it when that happens.
So for the viewers, sometimes our timing tower betrays us and makes us think that things have happened when they haven't. It gets a giggle. Kevin Viamont getting a bit frustrated, maybe? I don't know. It's showing his nose. Maybe it's just a racing tactic. He's very, very close to the back of Scott Malcolm's car now. Well, that's a bit wide, unless he gets a cutback overdrive.
Yeah, but he's picking up good points again.
He is. Yep, 4th position. That's it's brilliant work, isn't it? Ultimately, Chris Shaw and Carl Hardy, are they closing up on one another or not? I can't really tell. Or is that a 9-second gap?
I don't know. I'm just worrying about Andrew Hopley's being out again.
Are we?
Hey,
there we go. If only the viewers could see what we could see, they would understand this all. So yeah, we got Andrew Hopley leading by 5 seconds over Craig Cameron, who has a 7-second gap over Stuart Dick, who has a 5-second gap over AAA, who has a 6-second gap over Tom Stanley. And that's why we're not watching them, because these guys are a hair's breadth apart on every corner at the moment. So sorry guys at the front, you're too boring for the cameras. We're going to watch this.
Yeah, a little bit behind these, Jamie Jeffrey has got past Matt Gibson. So we've
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, give it back, son, give it back.
He has done, or he's trying to.
Trying to.
Yeah. Tom Stanley's still doing like all sorts of wiggles after that. That happens though, doesn't it, when you're in very close proximity for a long time. And he's done the right thing, so good effort.
Oh, there's a big lunge from Kevin.
I'd say that was a dive bomb. Yeah, Clyde, whatever happened to the landmines that you used to find on this track?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
With some classics.
Yeah.
They've gone, haven't they? That made life interesting. And a bit random.
There's some anger, some light flashing.
Yeah, if he's flashing his lights in frustration, he just needs to get the job done himself, doesn't he? He's trying to go around the outside here. That's difficult. Optimistic at best. Yeah.
He's getting it in. He's getting late on the brakes, but then he's just losing all his momentum on the apex of the corner, and Scott's coming back.
Yep.
What is going on with this timing screen?
Oh, just ignore it.
Yeah, ignore it.
Simon Field making his way through the field again. Is another exchange between these two.
Yeah, Simon Field's up to 10th position.
Yeah, he's making moves, isn't he? I mean, he's handy in the car. He's just not in the best of positions tonight.
Got 2.5 minutes to go.
Yep. Ooh. Double R wanted to turn in there, and there was a car where he wanted to be, so that was rude of Tom Stanley's.
Try and stop looking at the timing screen.
It's lying to you. Yeah, Tom Stanley defensive driving through there.
Yeah, I think Tom may have to defend this all the way to the end now.
Yep. We're at the 1 hour mark, are we?
We've got just over 90 seconds to go.
Right. So this is going to go right to the wire.
So we've possibly got one more lap after this one, Sam? I don't know if the leader got past.
Yeah, probably so. One more.
Yes.
And Double R needs to keep his car on the right hand. Oh, that's netcode.
That was netcode.
Amount of netcode.
Yeah, they weren't even close.
No. There was 2 foot between those cars in a real life situation. Yep, I agree with you, Double R. You don't do anything.
I'm sure Tom won't be happy, but I think if he looks back at the replay, he'll see that is a massive netcode there.
Yeah.
This battle carries on.
Oh, this has been going on forever. Kevin Viemont and Scott Malcolm. I mean, is he waiting, do you think? I don't think he's waiting, because he's putting his car in some crazy situations and he's flashing his lights and He wants past, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt, yes. He wants that third step on the podium.
Yep. I mean, this is kudos, isn't it? And points. Third step. P3.
Yeah, and these guys are
involved in this.
battling in the championship, so
Yep.
Scott will do everything he can to stay in front because he gets points.
And what's not going to help is Robert Venn. He's in the shot, and he's going to get involved in this.
Rob's a sensible driver. I've known Rob for a lot of years.
Yeah, Rob's been around for a while, hasn't he?
As we say that, and he ploughs into him.
I mean, he's on scene as... Ooh, that was a good turn, wasn't it?
Ooh, drag race, boys, drag race.
Yeah, that was a good one from Kevin.
Keep out of it.
Oh, this is it. Right, Kevin's in the wrong place. That's difficult to go around the outside. All right, I'll just show up.
Yeah. Get that one, Pete.
Yeah.
I think that one's a done deal.
It really is. Look,
so this must be the final lap.
Here we go.
There is our GT4 leader, Andrew Hopley. He's got a commanding 4-second lead over Craig Cameron.
Yep, lights ablaze. Must know that we've got him on screen.
Round the final corner.
Yeah.
And we'll say this is the third win in a row for Andrew Hopley.
Yeah.
Luckily, he went to the side of the track, so we knew we was on the right start-finishing line. So,
and he's won in the UK, which is the only place he wins, right? Robert Venn's kept behind these guys, so yes.
Yeah. Craig Cameron came home second, triple.
I don't know, has he crossed the line yet?
Why did AAA come in third?
I don't know. Why is Stuart Dick not third?
I think that might be a
timing screen.
Dodgy timing screen.
All right. If it's a dodgy timing screen, then somebody needs to tell iRacing. So it. Ooh. No, yeah, Stuart Dick's still ahead on iRacing. It's me, my eyes have gone bonkers. Oh, and Robert Venn's decided enough's enough, I'm getting involved.
And then nearly didn't get involved.
Nearly bend it.
So Chris Shaw comes home first in the TCR class.
Yep. That's a big lead he's got. 14 seconds nearly. Ooh.
Carl Hardy tried his best there not to come in second. Big twitch going in.
Yeah.
Carl Hardy will take the result clothing honours at work tomorrow.
He's got quite a lead over David Ayres. There's like well, let's say it's a 6 hour gap back to David Ayres. Who's crossing the line next? Arjun Kramer. We'll take 7th, maybe. Yep. So, Andrew Hopley wins. Craig Cameron second. AAA third. Is that right? Or is it Stuart Dick?
I think he did. I don't know how.
I don't think he did.
I wonder if Sam can find. See, on our results screen, we've got Stuart Dick in third, so
yeah,
we'll go with that. We'll go with that. So, GT4, your winner is Andrew Hopley. Second, Craig Cameron. Third, Stuart Dick. Fourth, AAA. This is good. Fifth, RR. And then Tom ruins it. Sixth is Tom Stanley. Seventh, Andy Perks. Eighth, Jamie Jeffrey. 9th Matt Gibson, 10th Simon Field, 11th Josh Rayfield, 12th James Underhill, 13th Rob Fenn, 14th James McRitchie, 15th Simon Chester, 16th Ant Woodward, and 17th was Martin Bowerman.
And in the TCR class, Chris Shaw took home the honours, followed by Carl Hardy, who gets a sniff of champagne as well. Kevin Viamont shares that bottle. Scott Malcolm just off the podium in 4th. David Ayres, he's going to have to face it at work tomorrow in 5th. Roger Morton in 6th. Arjun Kramer in 7th. Charles Kellyman in 8th. Frank T-Bosch in 9th.
Well, that was a good race. I enjoyed that.
It was. There was pockets of good racing going on. Double R was in the thick of it. We had some good, close TCR racing. Carl Hardy and Chris Shaw at the beginning. And then later on, Scott Malcolm with... Who was it? Was that Kevin Viamont? It was, yeah.
It was, yes.
And then Kevin Viamont got on top of that battle. So some really tasty racing, to be honest.
Yeah, really good. Really good.
There was a bit of a lull in the middle of the race, and we were trying to figure out the pit strategy. We realised there was none. And some people decided that 30 minutes of an hour race was the right time to pit, and some people decided when they were going to run out of fuel was the right time to pit. And that seems to be the logic behind that.
Yeah, certainly is. So we've got Double R waiting for us in the interview room, so let's drag him in.
Why not? Bonjour, Double R. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you, and you?
Yeah, all good, mate. You had a bit of an interesting race, didn't you? You had some very close battles. You had a touch with Tom Stanley, you gave the position back.
I have no touch with him.
On the second one, you had a massive net code. You were about 2 feet away from his car,
So
nothing to do with you.
I have no car contact
Nope.
for any contact, any mistake with him.
No, that's right. It wasn't an overtake as such. It was, but you didn't make contact with him physically. It was purely net code. So we did see that on the broadcast, and you were right, because we heard what you said on the race chat as well. So how did you feel your race went?
That was a really difficult race because we have the 24 hours of Le Mans last week, and I don't prepare correctly this week. So I'm very happy for this P5. I don't hope this place, so it's a very good result for the championship, and we hope better for next week.
Yeah, because you had a pit lane penalty start last week, and you did really well to come back through the field. You had a standard start this week, and you've done really well. You've ended up in 5th. You're a couple of places back from where you started. Your qualifying was excellent, and I think you've got to be happy with a 5th place. It's a lot of points to take home, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very good, and my qualifying lap is very. I'm so happy to this lap, but I don't know when I do this. I don't know. I don't know. I can make this lap. So I'm very happy to the P3 to the start grid. But P5, it's an excellent result for me, and I hope better for next week.
Excellent stuff. Is there anybody you'd like to thank, Double R?
Yeah, I would like to thank my team Mekai Sport, my partners Nuage and Kinos Pro, my teammate Kevin Viamont, and my family who support me.
Excellent stuff, Roman Ratto. Double R, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week, guys.
Okay, I'm well on top of this now, mate. Well on top of it. So that was our 5th place driver in the GT4 class. So let's bring in our 4th place driver in the TCR class, Mr. Scott Malcolm. Scott Malcolm, welcome to the booth.
Hi guys.
Hello. That was a hell of a battle you was having there with Kevin.
Was the half, was it?
we followed that for quite a while, mate, and that was a really, really good battle. I bet you enjoyed that.
It made me look good to watch, but trying driving it, trying to keep Kevin behind me was like a nightmare.
Yeah, he's a good driver, Kevin. But I was saying in the broadcast, I'm assuming that you're driving this car a lot because you're doing really, really well. You're up there in the thick of it. Every race, you're up there. Well, apart from the first one, you had a bit of a nightmare, didn't you? But you're up there in the championship, and again, a fourth place tonight. So you seem to have really took to this car.
Yeah, I think this is my go-to car in iRacing now. It's only one that I really do. I do the MX-5 a couple of times, but I always go back to this one. In my personal opinion, I think it's the best car in the service that I've tried. Maybe not, but it's what I think is the best car, and it's just great the way it handles.
Yeah, I'm obviously used to seeing you in the old Kia, so and then I've obviously seen you in this one. How are you finding the championship so far, Scott? Enjoyable? You liking the hour-long races?
Aye, it works quite well. It's there's a bit of strategy. I've been used to these 20-minute sprint races, 15-minute, and reverse grids and all that. This brings a whole different perspective. You've got to think about the fueling, you've got to think about your tyres, you really got to learn how to look after these tyres and work out the fuel in your head if you've not got one of these fancy fuel calculators, or if you're crap at maths like me, then you just got to guess it.
Okay, Scott. Well, before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Apart from the usual lot like yourselves and that, for putting on this championship and putting on broadcasts. Obviously the Team Mad guys, and also the Team Result guys like Carol, Dave, and all that I've been practicing with all week. We help each other out, and I think you can see by the results it's kind of paid off a bit.
Yeah, it certainly is paying off for you, mate. Well done on your fourth place. I'll get the championship sorted out, and when you wake up in the morning, you can have a look and see how far you are off the top now.
Well, we'll see. Way to go.
It certainly is. Okay, Scott. Well, thanks for joining us in the booth, and we'll let you go.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Okay, well, we haven't got anybody else that wants to talk to us tonight. So, Pete, sum up the race for us. What did we learn tonight?
I think we learned that the Porsche possibly is the underdog in the GT4s, unless that's just the way that those people drove it tonight. The TCR seems to handle very, very well round here. It was a very competitive race in that TCR field. We had a lot of footage of TCR cars battling, and for quite a long time as well. And those are the great battles that we want to see. They create really good rivalries. We've had some in the V8 leagues that we run, and they come back time and again. And the same is also true in the GTs tonight. But the Porsches were further back. The BMWs were at the pointy end. We didn't see the tyre deg that we saw at other races. And that's possibly because there's some really quite strong, fast, big straights here. We saw some very interesting lines, which Silverstone promotes into corners, very different lines. And we saw some door banging, which you'd expect from these vehicles.
Yeah, there was a lot of close racing. Next week we go to, if I'm not mistaken, Mosport or Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, to give it its correct name. Now, there's there's a fair amount of turns, twists, but it's a flowing track. So, do you think the Porsche may be able to gain some legs on the BMW next week, Pete?
I think so. Yeah, CTMP is quite, like you said, it's quite flowing. It's got some great corners, very well thought out ones by the designers, and it lends itself to these types of cars very much so. The GT4s particularly. I think the Porsche is going to equal the bar there. I think. I don't think it's going to have the potential disadvantages that the BMW that they've had this week. But like I say, maybe that's to do with the drivers. I'm not sure. It does speak volumes that the first however many cars were all BMW.
Yeah, it certainly does. So we've learned that Silverstone is a BMW power track. So we've got no more interviews to do. So it just leaves me to thank everybody for watching. Thanks for the drivers for taking part and putting on the show. Thanks for Pete for joining me in the booth, and to Sam for doing everything he does in the background. So it is good night from me. We will catch you on Friday for the Euro Strength of Field race in the mighty V8. So good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.